Hi, my friend. Are you ready to be found online wherever your dream clients are searching? Are you looking to make your marketing make sense? Do you want to be able to confidently make decisions about your marketing so that you can stop wasting your time and money and really know what to focus on to grow your business? If so, you are in the right place, and I am so excited to have you here. Let's jump right in. Hi, and welcome back to the podcast. This week is a really fun, exciting week around here, and I'm going to take just a second. Hopefully, you're okay with it. To let you know. So, you may know if you listened to last week's episode, I was in Nashville last week to meet with my mentor and my mastermind and really work through some of the really fun and exciting changes that are coming to the business for 2026. Some of the things that I am working on for you, and I cannot wait to share some of those with you in the upcoming episodes. But more than that, this is a big week for me. So my birthday is Saturday, and I am entering a new decade, and it's kind of an exciting air, and I'm just looking forward to it. I'm excited to see what the next decade brings. I'm turning 50. Oh my goodness. And I look back on the last 10 years. When I turned 40, my little guy was 6 months old. So I've always said I was an older mom. I was an older mom. I was 39 when I had him. I was still in the corporate world. I was traveling a lot. And I did not have the kind of freedom and flexibility that I have today. So it has been an amazing ride this last 10 years. And I'm excited to see what my 50s bring. Several of my friends who are a few years older, who've already moved into their 50s, have told me it's even more exciting. So if you're already past that mark, let me know. Shoot me a DM on Instagram or reply back to the email and just say, what you found, what's been great for you, because I'm really curious. I always like to get to know you a little bit better. So that's my little personal update. All right, now let's pop into, thank you for indulging me in that. I'm excited. It's, there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm celebrating with some friends this weekend, just got back from the trip, making changes to the business, getting ready for the holidays. It's an exciting time. So what I wanted to talk about today from a podcast perspective, so, what's in it for you? Because that's what you're going to ask. What's in this for me? That's what we always have to think about when we're creating content for our audience. We have to think about you, the person listening, and what's in it for you. So today I want to talk about the best podcast marketing strategies for your business. Now, if you don't yet have a podcast, please don't just hit pause and move on, because I personally believe that a podcast can be the best thing that you do for your business. It has been for me. Mine will be 3 years old in February, so we're coming up on 3 years. It has had tens of thousands of downloads. It has generated tens of thousands of dollars in revenue. It has let me really expand my reach, and it has been so beneficial for my business, and it can be for you as well. I really do believe that a podcast can be an amazing marketing tool, and the barrier for entry is fairly low. You need to have a decent mic. You need to have a computer where you can record. I personally use Descript and Buzzsprout. I'll put my affiliate links for both of those in this episode. So if you're curious, you want to think about it, you can find those as well. It's so easy. I do teach podcast SEO. If you already have a show and it's not growing and you want to learn how to grow it, get that course. It is a self-study, but it's very simple, very straightforward. You don't really need somebody to guide you through it. You just need someone to tell you what to do and make it easy for you. So there's that. If you don't have a podcast yet, there's also a podcast best practices guide right in that. It's a module basically to walk you through how to launch your podcast and what to do. So let's just pretend you've got yours, or you're determined that you're going to start a podcast for the new year. What I want you to do and understand is that your podcast can be such an amazing tool for your business. And if you market it the right way, you can help it really boost your business's visibility online, because if you know how to do the right things from a visibility standpoint, you can show up very often in the podcast apps, which makes it much more likely for you to grow a bigger audience. So for me, you're probably not going to be real surprised. My number one best marketing strategy for a podcast is podcast SEO, or podcast search engine optimization, because making your show easy to find, increasing your visibility, makes it much easier to bring people into your world. The thing I really like about podcast SEO is that it is easier and it works faster than Google SEO or even AI SEO. If you have a show and it's not growing, you need to optimize it. If you don't have a show yet, you need to start one, and you need to make sure that it's optimized. Now, if you want to make sure that you're making money from your podcast, because you, my friend, are a business owner, so we need to think about this from a business owner, entrepreneur standpoint. We don't just want downloads. Downloads really, truly are not what we're looking for. We're looking for, how do the people who find our podcast engage with our business? So we're looking to see, are we generating leads? Are those leads becoming customers? Are you making money from the podcast? Because you're a business owner. You most likely are looking to make money from your podcast, not just to monetize it based on downloads. Now, if you're only looking to monetize it based on downloads, then obviously downloads are your number one priority, but most of us are not. Most of us are looking to use it to be another marketing channel for our business. So what you're going to want to do, the first thing, is to just think about your ideal listener. Who is the person who is popping in their AirPods and listening to you on their walk at the park in the morning? Who's commuting to work with you in their ear in the car? Who is listening each week, and what information do they need? How can you help them? Because when you're there and you become part of their world and you're there every week, they get to know you. They start to like you. They start to trust you, because now they're learning from you, and they're able to take this tip and they're able to implement it, or they're able to have their world opened up to a possibility they didn't see before. This is why we really want to make sure we're thinking about our content and we have the right content strategy, because we want to make sure that we're creating content that is going to be engaging to them, that is going to interest them. We're not going off on tangents. We're not talking about all sorts of crazy things. I did indulge myself for a moment to talk about my birthday, but I also made sure it was under about a minute and a half. I tried to keep it focused, and I was actually looking to see how long I had been talking about it. You really don't want to go on crazy long tangents, because your listeners' time is very valuable, and you want them to feel that your podcast is a good use of their time. So that's going to be your first thing, is really focusing in on them. The second thing is making sure that your episodes can tie to your sales funnel. So not only do you want to answer questions, but you also want to encourage them to get your opt-ins and to learn more about your business and to contact you or enroll in your programs, enroll in your services, etc. You want to think about, where does this type query fall in your sales funnel? And so you want to be strategic about your content mapping between your content creation and your ultimate sales line. Now, if you're not sure how to figure all of this out on your own, don't feel bad. You can work with me. I have the one-on-one elite marketing coaching where you and I can work on this together and get your show launched or get it optimized. You've got that as an option. It's a 3-month done with you program. So it's you and me meeting, going over your business. If you just need a little bit of help with the podcast SEO side, how to optimize, what to do, Simple Podcast SEO is an option. It is self-study. You can get that. You can get started with it today. Go straight into that one. If you need help with your overall marketing, you're like, Rachel, I don't understand how to map my content to my sales funnel, to my lead magnet. I don't quite understand how to add goals into my analytics and like all of these things. There is a new program. If you want to do the one-on-one, we can do that right now. Otherwise, there's a new program in development should be released in Q1. Not 100% sure of the name yet. I'm still working on that. So if I knew the name, I would tell you, but I don't know what I'm going to call it quite yet. I'm still trying to figure that part out. That's going to be available in Q1. That will be a 6-month marketing cohort. And so we're going to work through all the nuances of marketing each stage of your funnel to see where you're at and how you're doing and where the leaks are in your marketing so that you know what to focus on to address it so that you can get the right people, generate more leads, and ultimately make more money. It's also going to get you ready for Facebook ads, Meta ads, Google ads, etc. If you're ready, you want to scale, this program is going to help you lay the foundation to be ready to scale, to make sure that you are confident that you are ready to go into scaling. So now that we've talked a little bit about that, let's talk about how we do SEO on your podcast. So we've talked about this before, but you're really going to want to look for keywords that your ideal customer, your ideal listener would be searching for in the podcast app. So you're going to want to find those keywords, and then you're going to want to use them in places like your show name, your description, your episode name, your episode description, etc. You want to make sure that you're using the words that they would be using, the words that you want to have a better chance of ranking for, because people do search the podcast apps. They do listen to new shows. They do then decide whether or not they like you, they're interested, and they want to become part of your world. There are a couple other podcast marketing strategies that work really well. My favorite, honestly, is guesting on other podcasts. And I know I get people who request to be on here regularly. I get pitched multiple times a week, honestly, multiple times a day, from people wanting to be on this show. But this show, I don't take guests. It's you and I, it's a conversation, it's a tip, it's a lesson, it's something each week. So I don't really bring other guests in, but I have been on other shows where I've taught their audience, people who do guests on a regular basis. And that can be an amazing opportunity for you to grow your podcast. The other thing that's fantastic that you may not realize is that also helps with your Google SEO, because when you are guesting on another show, they're very likely going to ask about your freebies, your website, where people can find you, and they're going to link to that from their website. And so you're going to build links. And when you build those good, powerful, trusted links like that, those count towards your domain authority, which you probably remember, you may not remember, is from Moz. It's a score of 1 to 100, and it's an indication of how authoritative your website probably is in Google's eyes, based on what Moz knows of the Google ranking algorithm. And remember, there are 200 factors in that, so it's not a be-all, end-all, but it's a really good indication of how authoritative your site is. The more authoritative your site is, the more likely you are going to be the one to rank for specific keywords. Now, the other thing that's really helpful with guesting and having those links and those mentions is that creates citations. Citations are what's important for AI search. ChatGPT and Perplexity and the other AI tools are looking for brand mentions and citations. They don't care whether or not there's a link associated with it. They're just looking to see, are other reputable websites talking about this person and this site? Does it seem like it is a good business? They're more likely to show you to people who are searching for information related to you or pull from your website as a resource, and then link to your website if you have those positive citations. So that's another kind of plug for another bonus, another benefit from guesting on other podcasts. Not only do you potentially grow your podcast audience, you grow your reach, you also can increase your domain authority and your citations, which helps you with both traditional and AI SEO. So it's definitely win-win-win. So if you don't have a podcast yet, I highly recommend that you get one, because it can help you expand your reach. And if you have one and it's not yet really growing, you're not getting a lot of reach, you're not making a lot of money, join Simple Podcast SEO. Let me walk you through what you need to do, where you need to make the changes, Make sure that you're thinking about your ideal listener, the content that you're creating, tying it to your sales funnel, tying it to your opt-ins, offering your opt-ins, and making sure that you are optimizing it so that it can be found. You're going to look at your downloads to get an indication as to how it's working. That's kind of your first spot is, how's this working? How many downloads am I getting? Have my downloads increased? If your downloads are starting to increase, you are on the right track. All right, that is it for today. I will see you back here next week when I will be 50. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I'm ready for this, but I think I am. All right. Have a great one, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you took away something very actionable that you can start to use in your business right away. If you want any of the freebies that were mentioned, or you want any of my resources or free trainings, you can find those at edgedmarketing.com/freebies. If you would like to work together, I would love to work with you. Send me a note, reply to an email, DM me on Instagram. You know how to find me. I would love to help you grow your business as well. And if you have found this podcast helpful, would you do me the biggest favor and follow it or subscribe on your podcast app of choice, and then give it a rating and review? That really does help. It's just a little something you can do that helps me out in return. I appreciate it so much. I'll see you back here next week.